I practice expressing my thoughts as much as possible, and I try to do this whenever I could.
Tell about your interviews.
I remember being really nervous for my interviews. I interviewed at Maudlin College, where I had 2 interviews. And actually, I had 2 more interviews, one at Martin College and one at Santo Hawks, which is where I am now. And during these 4 interviews, I saw many interesting questions. One really interesting question I saw was a question about cubes and the number of varieties a cube has. Well, 3 dimensions, 4 dimensions, and even higher dimensions. And it didn't stop there. We also discussed how many edges there are in this dimension, and we tried to find a formula for each one of these. I thought it was quite interesting. There were also very hard questions. One particular question I remember is I was asked to sketch the normal distribution, which was like bell curve, and I was asked to sketch its derivative by 1 and its derivative as well, so 2 derivative. That was easy enough, you just get it.
And then she asked me, do I notice anything about the number of turning points and the number of reds as we go down? And then I noticed that as the difference each time the number of reds and the number of turning points increased by 1. And then the question was given to me, can you prove that formula is true? That was really difficult. I was really stunned at the beginning. I didn't know what to say, but luckily for me, the interviewer, he gave me a prompt. He gave me a hint about some theorem that is really useful for this. And I immediately managed to use this hint and then go on to answer the question. I thought I was really scary at first, but really rewarding at the end. I did get anything about my personal statement in the interview, but I thought it was not too strange. It wasn't really interesting in the interview.
Which aspect appealed the most to the tutors?
I think that interviewers really like to see me struggle through the question because they want to see how I think. They want to see the pressures in which I go about a question. So they would really like give me a difficult question so that I do struggle with it, and they would often give me hints to see if I can cooperate with them. If I do to attend the university and to prepare for the interviews, I keep that in mind. I practice expressing my thoughts as much as possible. I did this by speaking out loud when I'm by myself answering a math question, and I try to do this whenever I could.
Oxford Mathematics interview preparations.
Well, I've also mentioned that I tried to speak my thoughts as much as possible. Rather than that, I was really keen on solving Maths BMO, British Math Olympiad question. I feel like that helped out a lot my problem solving skills. It gave me a good insight on how to solve question, and I think it made me a better problem solver all around. And I interview most interviews with my teachers, and they were quite keen enough and to do the session with me. They insisted that I should be speaking my thoughts out as much as possible, even when I was struggling to come up with an answer. They encouraged my time and time again to try to give suggestions as how to solve the problem. For example, maybe we can solve this by induction even though you are not sure how you do that, and so on. So I did this thing quite often, and I did it about 2 times a week with my teachers did mock interview. And these other things I've mentioned, I try to keep them on getting in the background as I prepared for my interview.